Today we're going to be talking about my 5 golden rules for long runs. Whether training for an ultra or a marathon, these are the things that I like to bear in mind so that I can nail them. The first golden rule to consider does leave me at risk of sounding like your mother, but it is the importance of planning, because if you can make things as frictionless as possible, you're going to get out of your own way and just be able to focus on getting out the door and cracking on with your run. The 4 components of this that I think are really important to bear in mind are clothing, kit, hydration, nutrition, your route planning, and your timing. In terms of your equipment, make sure that you've got everything laid out the night before. You know what you're going to be bringing, you know what you're not going to be bringing, you know that you're in a long sleeve shirt versus a short sleeve shirt because of the weather forecast, and that is all effectively laid out for you to just roll into in the morning and get going. Secondly, in terms of hydration, nutrition, make sure you know how many grams of carbs per hour you're consuming, how many grams of sodium per hour you're consuming, if there's any stops along the way that you're going to get some more food or drink on board, and that it's all ready in the building. And most importantly, let me just double check that I have some gels in here. Yes, in your bag, most importantly. Thirdly is route planning. Know where you're going. Don't just make it up as you go along, otherwise you might find yourself a little bit far from home, Mr. Bilbo Baggins. For reference, I'm going that way, and you're coming along for the ride, so you can assess and critique my route planning as we go. Fourthly is timing. Long runs, by virtue of being long, are long, and thus you should therefore do what you can to effectively plan. If you're meeting somebody at a certain time, if you need to travel somewhere to a start point like this one, make sure that you factor in timings either side of that so that you're not upsetting your wife or missing your child's violin recital or not showing up to a bar mitzvah that you were booked into at midday on that Saturday long run morning that you had planned in. So timing is just as important as everything else, and those are the things that I think are important to remove the friction from to make your long runs as effective as possible. Something I've found very effective over the years is just making a bit of a checklist in my iPhone notes the night before so that I can cross off things that I've got, maybe go looking for things that I don't, and make sure that my kit, my clothing, my hydration, my nutrition, my timing, and my route are all down on paper, and I'm not going to miss anything when I'm a little bit tired and groggy like a mole reaching for the shower knob in the morning. And on that note, it is a bit chilly, and I would like to add a bonus point, which is to dress appropriately and be bold and start cold. What I mean by that is it's very easy when you first step out the door, especially on a winter's morning, it's 2 or 3 degrees Celsius today, for example, to think, oh, I'd love to put a mid-layer or a puffer jacket on, maybe even some salopettes. And very quickly, once you start running, you'll realize that's a terrible decision. And more often than not, if you're out running, you'll have nowhere to offload them to. So remember, keep that mantra front of mind, be bold, start cold, and don't dress like you're going skiing unless you're going skiing. Point number 2 is a controversial one, but you might expertly notice there's nothing in my ears other than maybe some earwax, as I haven't actually Q-tipped them for a while. But the second point to consider is the fact that you should bin the headphones. And it's not just me saying this. Let's hear from the internet's favorite hardman.
We like to put the headphones on,
Yeah.
like before the big game, and listen to the music.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you do when the headphones come off, bro? It's you in your own mind. That's the hard part,
Do you
man.
ever listen to music when you run?
Never.
Never. Told you, Jamie, it's cheating.
For zone 2, low intensity, steady state long runs, I'm a huge proponent of getting rid of the headphones because life is chaotic. I'm sure we can all agree. Things are getting busier, things are getting more chaotic, things are getting more stressful, and I find it really difficult to find time where I'm undistracted, detached from technology, and alone in my own thoughts. So that's where my zone 2 steady state Saturday morning, sometimes Sunday mornings on the bike at the moment, become really peaceful, really sometimes quite profound and valuable reflective periods for me. Not meaning to sound too emotional and too sort of woo-woo about it, but from a mental health point of view, calibrating with my own thoughts every Saturday morning, as I have done for the past sort of 6 or 7 years, training this way has been massively valuable, and it can help build resilience. If you're feeling uncomfortable about taking the headphones off right now and going, Fergus, shut up, no way could I ever do that, then that's an opportunity to improve.
Stay fucking hard! What do you mean by that?
Okay, and goodbye. Ditch the headphones. Thank you very much. I was hoping for a throw there. Okay, point number 3 is perfectly demonstrated by this park run that is unfolding here in Cramond. A beautiful setting, I'm sure you can all agree. Point number 3 is all about accountability and parameters. And by that I mean you need to go into each long run with a plan. You need to know what you're doing, you need to know what the aim of the session is, you need to know what you're looking to achieve. Because if you go into it arbitrarily, you can often fall into the trap that a lot of beginner runners, people with all-in personalities, tend to find themselves in, which is just running at a certain pace for varied distances throughout the week. That is a surefire way to tear your calf and have a bad time and wonder, maybe I'm just not built for running. We need to phase things out into zones. You can look for a video that breaks that down just here. But more importantly, you need to go into each thing with a plan. 5K, fantastic example here. There'll be people walking, there'll be people pushing prams, there'll be people walking dogs, there'll be people going absolutely full send, there'll be people treating it as a zone 2 training run, going at a leisurely pace. The important thing is to have a clear intention for each training session and make sure that you stick to it by having parameters. For me today, it's 30K at under 155 heart rate average, and that's it. Other than that, all I need to do is enjoy it. And because I've laid all my stuff out the night before, I got my timing right, I had my route planned, and my hydration and nutrition was all on point, I can just embrace this setting. Thank you very much, and goodbye. So the fourth thing to consider is very much feeding off of point number 3, which is all about doubling down on your time, habit stacking, if you are a James Clear fan, which you probably are as you're watching this sort of video on the internet. So what I mean by that, I'm demonstrating horribly today, which is if you're setting time aside for conversational pace zone 2 long runs, it's a great opportunity to socialize, to meet up with somebody, to meet somebody new, to spend time with your friends, to catch up with family members, whatever it might be. We don't need to be locked into this head down, go it all alone mentality that's becoming more and more common on the internet these days. I'm a huge fan of using days like today, runs like today, as a great opportunity to meet with people, chat as you go, catch up. You're out there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it may be. Think how much conversation you can have. So the fourth golden rule, I guess, is to find your friends, bring the boys together, so to speak, because if you're out there for a long run anyway, why not do it with somebody and have a catch up along the way? Point number 5. Is to have something to look forward to. And I'm not saying I need incentivized to do my long runs, but it's nice. I'm feeling a little bit more carrot than I am stick at the moment. So having a flat white and a cinnamon bun from the very nice specialty coffee shop that's open just around the corner from me, that everybody's talking about in Edinburgh. Hang on. It's worth visiting. It's something I've been looking forward to for weeks, in fact, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to schedule it at the end of my long run as a way of getting excited about it. So whether it's a family event, whether it's a food item, whether it's going on a night out with your friends, whatever it might be, I enjoy the pressure and the demand of having to fit in long runs around something that I'm then looking forward to, because it means that when I wake up and it's cold and it's windy and it's miserable and I'm dreading 4x5 kilometers at tempo pace with 2 minutes flow or 40 kilometers zone 2 pacing, I think, right, if I don't get up now and crack on, then it's not going to get done within the time frame that I'm working towards, and I want to get both things done. So having something to look forward to, oldest trick of the book, whatever it may be, that is up to you. For me, it is a sweet treat. And in the words of this mystical frog, so 30k for me at 149 heart rate, average 520 per k pace. Data is on the screen for you just here. Really pleased with that, felt pretty smooth the whole way through, and a really, really nice day out. Hopefully you've enjoyed that scenery. Hopefully you've enjoyed my 5 golden rules for long runs. If you want anything that's a bit more training and adaptation specific, I've linked a nutrition and an aerobic development video in the description down below so that you can dive into them if this has been a little bit too broad brushstroke for you today. But that's today's video. Don't forget to give it a like. Please comment with your golden rules for long runs in the comments down below, and hit subscribe whilst you're there, and ding that little bell. And if you're in Edinburgh, come to this coffee shop. Thank you very much, and goodbye.